Let's get into it. Soul Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Man, I appreciate so much, and let me know if you feel this way too. I appreciate people who are part of certain groups and they are willing to call out the behavior, the negative behavior of that group. As a Black person, I have had to do that quite a bit, and I feel like I have to. When I see the Black community acting a certain way, when I see it indulging in this music that's borderline demonic, not even borderline, it's outwardly demonic nowadays, you know, not taking care of kids, all of that stuff, I have to call it out. And I love when I see other groups, whether they be Christian or Muslim or Jewish or white or Asian or anything. I love when they don't just look at their own side with these rose-tinted glasses. It's so refreshing. And you're about to see someone do just that. But what I'm also going to play is this gentleman right here. I don't know if you've heard of this gentleman. Let me move my square. I only do this for the man himself. Move my square like that. That's Mr. Asmongold right there. Excellent communicator. Believe you me, excellent communicator. And he is covering this video. He is allowing us to see this amazing video that just happened. That is actually a man that's telling us about how a blasphemy law is being reintroduced in Britain. And this blasphemy law is protecting one group that has grown in size in Britain. And it correlates with the other clip that I'm about to show you right now. So we have one side where there's someone actually calling out what their group does. And then on the other side, we see Britain doing exactly what this person in this clip you're going to see doesn't want to see happen anymore. And I just think it's a conversation worth covering. So let's just jump right into it. You'll understand by the time it's all done.
By are supporting the Taliban because we were guarding their poppy fields.
Yeah.
LOL.
I think when we talked about this earlier, I think the Taliban as like a way to get out of it, like burned all their poppy fields. I think that
Did they?
Yeah, I think that's why they're trying to get more tourists to come. And these like, there's a bunch of like bro travel like TikToks
Afghanistan?
that are like, yeah, me and the bros are going to Afghanistan, and they're like chilling with the Taliban. It's like these white guys from Britain.
Boy, you got to be a bold person to take that. That's an early adopter.
But you know, but also if you're from England, you're kind of already getting used to being around Muslim extremists. So I think it's more of a lateral move.
Bro.
I wish that's something, at least like I could be looking this. I could be wrong about this, but like. I wish that was something that was a little more vocal and like sort of. And I'm not like a very big Muslim guy. I'm not like really that practicing or that religious, but these sort of like the brand of Islam that's coming to Europe right now is like really scary for me. Like I don't want that. Like that's not. There's a lot of like Western Muslims that like probably wouldn't vibe with what's going on over there, and it's just this very interesting thing of like, how do we curb that in our community of being like, hey, we shouldn't accept this. Like we shouldn't. I remember when the Charlie Hebdo attacks happened, a lot of people would be like, damn, that's what happens when you draw Muhammad or whatever. It's like, that shouldn't be our reaction to this.
Right.
It should be like, live and let live. It's like, that's what I admire about the Christians here is that you can make fun of Jesus, no one's going to.
Right.
Like that there's sort of like this sort of westernization that kind of needs to happen that it doesn't look like it's happening over there in a way that's kind of happening here.
Look what's going on in Toronto, where Ontario made it legal to have polygamy.
Right.
Yeah. That's why.
Right. It's like
Dudes want multiple wives. Come on, it's in the Quran.
you know, it is, but
It is.
Yeah. You could have multiple. You got to treat them all equally, which is what they totally do.
It's a great way to keep people recruited. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, imagine if the Christians said, listen, we're open to new ideas. I think maybe the Mormons had a point. Because the Mormons, that's how they got it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The whole reason why they went to Mexico was because the United States said no to polygamy.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing about, what's his face, from Massachusetts. Mitt Romney. That's right, Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's dad was actually born in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah. Their family came from, there's these giant colonies of Mormons that live in Mexico and duke it out with the cartels. Never seen that?
No.
Dude, there was a shootout.
Mormons versus the cartels?
Yes,
Great
man.
movie title.
There was a big problem a few years back because a few people, I think a woman and a child and a couple other people got by the cartels. And it became like a giant issue. So they set these compounds up in like the 1800s, whenever the Mormons were not allowed to be polygamous here in America. So they just said, well, who cares? Back then there was no cars. Mexico is just as good as living in America.
Right.
Just we'll go over there.
Right.
But then, America fucking blossomed. Mexico kind of stayed, and now you're like, hey, you got a cartel problem now. So they're armed.
Damn, are they still there?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, I think there's two large groups of Mormons that live in like these fenced off communities. It's like really kind of sketchy.
Yeah, it's kind of
They have
crazy.
compounds.
Yeah. Well, the Mormons, I think because they're young too.
So they have to weigh safety, extra pussy.
Wow. There's two things. When it comes to these free-flowing conversations, the good thing is it brings about these incredible conversations that we're not getting in other places other than my own podcast every Sunday, Saturday when I post my own interviews. But we're not getting it any other place. But then also when it's free-flowing to a maybe too much of an extent, you skip over things like what this guy's trying to open up about. He's really trying to have a serious take on what's going on in his community. And sometimes you just need to give that some air, because what he's saying, there's probably many other people in his community that feel the same way. And if he says it out loud, maybe they'll start to say it out loud. And then people will start to understand a little more that not everybody who's a part of that group feels or endorses that type of behavior. That's why I say it about my own community, because I want people to know not all black people like this stuff. They're not all rolling with this. They don't all take it as their duty to like abandon kids and stuff like that. Some of us take fatherhood really seriously. Some of us, sit around listening to country music every now and then. It's just, man, I wish he had more time to expand on that. Let's see if he actually does.
The extra pussy is worth a lot. I'll say this. I remember the first time I went to Salt Lake City in 2019, and we were walking around, and we were near the Mormon temple, and the most beautiful women came up to us and be like, oh, why don't you And I was like, that's how they get you, dude. Dude, Salt Lake City is like, it's just 10s marrying 2s. And it's like, that's how you get that's how you get the Mormon guys.
True.
Oh, dude, I was willing to, the split second, I was like, oh, I'm willing to give up a lot right now. I remember this beautiful woman from Colombia. Like they went and they got converted on a mission trip, and now they're here. And like, look at this exotic women that's available to you if you're a Mormon, and you can marry one like tomorrow.
Wow.
You can marry one because they all get married young and quick. Because the whole point is to have babies. So I've always told people Mormons know how to recruit. They can get you. They throw the away.
They're also the nicest people. Like you very rarely meet a mean Mormon.
Well, it's like the Book of Mormon comes out, and what do? Do they get mad? Do they? No, they stand outside and hand people pamphlets about Mormonism. This whole play talking about how Mormonism is totally bullshit. They're like, we might be able to get somebody.
Yeah, they actually took out a full-page ad in the playbook.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a great way to deal with criticism of your religion. I think, from my perspective on Islam, it needs to handle that better. It doesn't handle that well at all. I mean, I think Salman Rushdie was a guy who was born and raised in New Jersey. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. He should be safe here.
Right.
Yeah. And also, I'm mad at the fatwa because it made me read that terrible book.
Was it a bad book?
It wasn't that good. I would have not have read it if there wasn't anything around it.
Probably sold a lot more copies because of that. Probably made that dude rich as
Oh
right?
yeah.
Crazy.
It's like one of those. It's like I get it if you like artsy, it's like a novel for writers almost. That's how I felt reading it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's like
Interesting.
I didn't like it, but I only read it because of everything around it.
Did you see American Primeval?
No.
It's great, but it talks about Brigham Young and the Mormons establishing themselves in Utah and gangster. Like you don't realize like what a gangster Brigham Young was. You're like, holy, is this all accurate? And it's accurate. Peter Berg made it. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
imagine
a wild show, dude.
Imagine leading a people against the American government and setting up your own place. You have to be a bad to do that.
And then the wildest ones went to Mexico.
Yeah.
We're gonna flee the whole country.
Yeah. The Mormons really, really.
Nah, the wildest ones stayed in America. What are you talking about? The wildest ones are the ones that were like, you know what? No more running. We're going to stay right here. Oh, we can just go across the border. We just get to Mexico. It's not that far. Yeah, you know what? Nah, not doing that. Set it all up. And when they come, we're going to blow them out of the water. Are you kidding me? Those are the wild ones. What? Now, to what he was talking about in regards to his own group, I want to play this because this is the type of stuff that he's talking about. Not having happened, handling things differently. Check this out.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Hot Takes, and welcome back to the Middle Ages. Welcome back to the Dark Ages. Welcome back to a land where we now have in law a blasphemy law. Not put through by Parliament, put through by judges who has decided that Britain needs blasphemy laws because you're not allowed to talk about religion. Now, I'm going to say at the beginning...
Wait a second. A council to define Islamophobia for government policy. What the... Well, no formal blasphemy law exists in the UK. The application of public order and hate speech laws to acts like the Quran burning suggests a selective sensitivity towards Islam not extended to other religion. This inconsistency raises questions about whether the authorities are prioritizing community cohesion over free expression. What the hell are they doing over there? The f*** is that?
People have rights. Ideas do not. You do not insult someone because of their beliefs. But it does not mean that the beliefs themselves are inviolable. One can disagree very angrily with the teachings of a religion, as long as one does not insult the followers of that religion. Often the followers, of course, are victims.
Yeah.
Brainwashed as children into believing all sorts of guff. But that's not what's happening here. No, in this country now, we may not criticise religion. We may not criticise the teachings of a religion. We may not insult a religion, even if the tenets of that religion are obnoxious in the extreme.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Actually, yeah, this is not good. It begins, as I said, do you guys see how every single day what I've been saying is becoming more true? Every single day.
Because some little wanker of a judge has said it's wrong to stand there and say F Islam while burning your own book. A book you've paid for with your own money. Mm-hmm. But that's what's happened. The British court has been accused now of single-handedly reversing the Age of Enlightenment and taking us back to superstitious bullshit where, because some dark age...
It's not even superstitious. Like, I mean, if somebody wants to be religious, that's fine. But this is authoritarian. That's the problem. It's the authoritarian nature of it more than anything else. Yeah, it won't stand up to appeal, to be honest. We'll see.
Peasant, Bronze Age peasants wrote a book on a Levantine hillside, somewhere in the Middle East. We've got to treat that with all the respect it's due. It's bull, it's bollocks, and it's wrong.
I'm sorry, guys. I totally agree with them. I do. I absolutely, completely, 100% agree with them. Like, I understand a lot of people get into religion and it's just a cultural thing. But the moment that you say that, like, it can't be criticized and it can't be made fun of, you've totally lost me. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, the reason that it's being put on that type of pedestal is because exactly what Hassan was talking about with Joe Rogan. It's because of the reaction to any type of push back, whatever you want to say. It's because of the reaction. The problem is that the government is now acquiescing to that unwarranted reaction to being criticized. That's not how that's supposed to go, right? You should be, what should happen in a perfect world, I guess, or in a more common sense world, is that you would take on exactly what Hassan was saying. Hassan was saying, let's be more live and let live. Let's try to pull people in. Basically what he was saying when he talked about the Mormons, he was saying, pull people in with kindness. You see people are talking smack, or there's some kind of play that kind of makes fun of you guys, pull people in. You know, find it as an opportunity to get closer to people, to have a proper interaction, rather than get on your toes, get your back up, and get ready for some kind of aggression. It's crazy. And this is Britain, you know, but I always show you guys Britain because not that far behind. Look at Michigan. Oh, have you not looked at Michigan lately? Oh, go look at Michigan. Go check out Michigan real quick.
You've completely lost me.
A man,
Yeah.
a British man, who burnt the Quran. Well, actually, he's not British. It is even worse. A man who burnt the Quran while shouting F Islam was found guilty. Hamid Koskan, who is himself a Muslim, an ex-Muslim, it must be said, an asylum seeker from Turkey, was filmed burning the book while shouting that Islam was the religion of terrorism outside the Turkish consulate in February. He was violently attacked by a passerby who has not yet been charged with anything.
So let me get this straight. This guy sets his own book on fire, and like I get, like, look, I mean, I can see the government's point of view. Well, we don't need people setting fires out in the middle of the street. Like, I get that. Makes sense, sure. Even if it's your own book, we don't want a fire in the middle of the street and the sidewalk. But, like, the other guy didn't even get charged at all?
The other guy didn't get charged, and he didn't just attack him. He attacked him with a knife. It wasn't just like he was like, hey, stop it. No. He had a weapon. He had a weapon and attacked him. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I can't even show you the video. It was nuts. I saw this video like a few months ago.
Incitement to racial hatred is a crime in the UK. Islam isn't a race. That's not a race. That's a religion.
Koskan was found guilty of racially aggravated public order offence. Really? What race? What race is Islam? Islam is not a race. It's an idea. You're supposed to attack.
I'm so happy to see this, that it's another guy, like another basically almost boomer Reddit atheist. Like, I'm really vibing with this a lot. This is great. I'm having a good time watching this.
A race?
Sure.
But please do tell me, what race is Islam? No, it's a. I hope this goes to appeal. He was said to have been motivated in part by hostility towards members of a religious group, namely the followers of Islam.
Duh.
Judge John McGarver insisted the prosecution was not an attempt to bring back and expand the blasphemy law. I'm calling bull on that, because that's exactly...
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know if I believe it.
To welcome the Islamization of this country in law, because we're not allowed to disagree with the book that says that is acceptable, that is acceptable, that throw...
So you get the idea. Just, you know, the reason I'm bringing this up, bringing Asmond into the picture here, is because what Hassan was saying is so much better. And that is what should be going on. More than anything. Less aggression and more being, like, I mean, in the most basic sense, being able to take a joke, being able to take criticism, constructive criticism, whatever it is, being able to take it. You guys already know I'm wearing King Baldwin on my shirt right here. Christianity, we get it the most. We get it the most. Everybody. We're not even, We're not even talking to some dude who's just wearing like a full face of makeup and he's like, let me tell you something, Jesus, whatever. And we're like, what the why are you talking? Bro, Jesus is not even thinking about you. He loves you. He's not thinking about you. Why are you attacking Jesus? Like Jesus said something about you just 20 minutes ago. You see it all day. Whole parade set up to go at what we believe. And do you see us ratchet up? Get all crazy, aggressive? No. What you will see is people going, I'm going to go on this corner and preach a little bit just so people can hear the word. And that ends up getting shut down because someone decides to get violent because they don't want to hear the word. And the police roll up and they act like that guy's the problem. That doesn't happen with any, believe me, with what this guy's talking about, doesn't happen with them. Not at all. So we get it the most and we're able to get through it. These people should too. They need to take on the thought process of Hassan and just shout out to him for just being willing to even say that out loud, because he's going to catch flack for saying that. It's going to be an issue that he has said that out loud. He's in Austin. He's with Rogan and them. So he's good. But there's going to be some people who heard him say that, heard him talk about his own people that way. And he's going to get exactly what I get. I get it all the time. Self-hating. You hate your people. You're going to get all those comments when you say something like that. But it's so necessary to stand up to your group and let them know, hey, this behavior is unacceptable. You can't do that type of thing. So shout out to Hassan, man. A lot of people didn't like his appearance. I saw one person, they were like, oh, you were on such a great run, Rogan, like another comedian. And like, Hassan's a great guest. It's Asan, whatever. He's a great guest, though. He's a fantastic guest. He gets Joe to talk about a lot of different things. He has a good perspective. He's willing to push back a little bit. He does agree a lot, but he's a young comedian. You gotta do that a little bit. But he's a solid mind on JRE. He's not a physicist or anything, but solid mind. And he has a great set. Great set. If you go check him out live, you won't be disappointed. But anyway, just wanted to talk about that quickly. I'm out.